Okay.
You took a long time to actively seek out a career in music, even though music is very much in your blood. Was there anything in particular holding you back?
Yeah. I had to get some blues first. You can't. I mean, you can. But if you want real blues, man, then you got to get some blues. You just don't get up in the morning, go down the street, and then say, I got some blues. You got to go through some stuff first, man, and Pop said that in the interview. My dad said that, man, too, and it's true. I mean, anybody can play an instrument, anybody can play blues, but until you've been through something, until you've had some stuff, how can you really say it's really blues?
So perhaps in hindsight, it's probably been an advantage for you starting your career late as you have. You've got that life experience behind you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I've come up in the streets of Chicago, a rough place, and I know you guys still hear about Chicago. The news is even rougher here. I mean, shootings and killings. I come up in the blues, man. I had to get some blues,
It was a pretty...
it was pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if I was B.B. King's son or Muddy Waters' son. I had to come up rough, man. I come up fighting, man, and trying to just prove that I'm just as much man as the next one, And that's pretty much what it is, because somebody weak couldn't stand a chance here, man. And then after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., it got even worse, John. Yeah.
So it was an incredibly tough neighborhood you grew up in.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it wasn't third world country, but it was tough for pretty much tough for a young man.
When you were a young boy discovering music, was it just the blues that had the most impact on you, or were there other styles of music that were appealing to you as well?
Well, I was fortunate enough that they come up in my dad's and Howlin' Wolf and the era. I come up in the Motown era. The Michael Jacksons and the Stevie Wonders. I come up with Paul and Oates, the Who's. I come up in that kind of era. I think I was fortunate enough to come up in that era when the slaves migrated from the southern states to the north.
Uh-huh. Can you pinpoint a particular moment in time when it started to become apparent to you that what an important figure your dad was?
Well, it was years before I really figured out who Dad was. I mean, we'd be playing around the house, and I just thought it was some of the most horrible stuff I ever heard. because it's blue. And I didn't frankly understand, the significance of it. I didn't realize that blues came from gospel. It came from the fields of Mississippi, where people were singing hymns in the cotton fields of Mississippi, looking for a savior. And it was humming and singing hymns, and the blues kind of came out of that. And then people started singing about, broken hearts, loved ones left, and different stuff, man, and different emotions that stirs something up in us as human beings, man. So.
Was there any pressure of expectation on you when you were growing up that you would follow in your dad's footsteps?
No, never. Dad, they never pushed that on any of us, I mean, he just did him, and he pretty much like I'm doing now that I got kids, wishing that I can get another one of me or another one of Muddy out of there. And just to show you how the thing stuff is, I got 10 kids, and all 6 of my males don't sing, but all 4 of my girls sing gospel.
Oh, wow.
Church singing gospel, man, and they'll make the hair on your back stand up. As a matter of fact, I'm releasing a new album really soon, John, and my youngest daughter is accomplishing me on a song on there that's called I bet he don't love you like I love you.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
That must be a magic moment for you to have your daughter singing with you on record.
Of course, and I mean, I'm just so proud because of the strength of her voice as a female. It's just amazing, some of the notes she can hit. Yeah.
Bet your
I put it all to Muddy Waters, man.
Yeah, yeah. What about your mother? What's it meant to her? What did it mean to her to see you finally making your way in music?
My mom is elated, man. You know, as a matter of fact, as we told, she sits just in my front room, man, in the recliner, just relaxing. She's 85. The sun don't shine until my mom wakes for me, John. You know, you can call me a mama's boy, according to what you want to, but here's a lady that had to raise 4 kids with my dad being gone away all the time. She was the one who kind of like put the bandage on my scalded knee, you know, pass out some punishments. And I mean, you know, she was in two footsteps, man. She was in Dad's and she was in hers, you know. And my belief is, you know, women can raise women, but it takes somebody really, really special to raise men, you know. And my mom did the best she could to raise men, you know.
Apart from your dad, who were some of the other influential musicians that really inspired you?
Well, my favorite, man, like I said, I didn't come up in Dad's in them era. I was fortunate enough that slavery was over with. But I really enjoy Barry White. He's probably one of my all-time favorites, Barry White. I guess because this man sung about love and peace, and he had a relaxing way of doing that stuff, man, which would put you in a whole state of mind. And music do soothe savage beasts. It does.
It sure does, yeah. I was reading another interview with you when you talk about a television broadcast tribute to your dad that was a very important moment in inspiring you to finally get out there and make your own music.
Yeah, it's probably the straw that broke the camel back for me. You know, me and my mom was sitting there watching a special on television here in the U.S., and they had all these stars there, Etta James, Dr. John, Buddy Guy, you name it, man, but it was there. And I didn't know the program was on. I must have been about 17, 18 years old, perhaps, maybe a little older. And my mom told me it was coming on, and I met at her house, and we sit there and we watched it. And we watched everybody performing, and we thought it was a great thing. And we watched it all the way till the critics ran out, till it went off. And the critics started rolling. And I looked over at my mom, and she was crying. And I immediately rushed her aside. I thought she was in pain or hurting or something, right?
Yeah.
And I'm asking her, Mom, why are you crying? What's wrong? You know what she told me, John?
What's that?
She said they didn't mention my son's name one time. And we embraced and we cried together. And I promised her from that day on that the world will know of her and they will mention our name.
Yeah.
And God has shined a light on me to let me be able to fulfill that for her before she make her transition.
Yeah, so that was a real turning point.
Yes.
Yeah. Your brother Bill was out there recording and performing for a number of years before you. Was seeing him out there an influence?
Yeah, Bill was out here about 5 years before I came out.
Yeah.
So,
Did he inspire you to get out there as well?
No. This is all me. I mean, I've always been musically inclined. I probably was tapping on my mama's stomach inside. I've always had these notes running through my beats, running through my brain as a kid.
Yeah.
I've had several small bands, and Dad used to take it down equipment and amplifiers. Well, actually used to have me go by some manager house, Scott Cameron, and pick out any amps and drum sets I wanted. And had quite a few bands when I was younger.
I'm sure over the years many have mentioned to you that the similarity in the sound of your voice and your dad's. And we all hear ourselves differently, though. Could you hear that similarity yourself right from the beginning?
From the beginning.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, and it never seemed to amaze me that it did that. But remember, John, I'm Muddy's son too. So I mean, you know, who am I? I mean, people question that. People say this is a double-edged sword. But if you yourself. Let's just take you. If you can sound like any of the great artists that you know, wouldn't you?
Of course. Absolutely.
So now here's the thing with me though. I sound like my dad, which who am I supposed to sound like? I'm not John Lee Hooker's son. I'm not B.B. King's son. I'm a son of Muddy Waters, and you know, boys mark their daddies, and the girls marks the mama.
Mm.
If the mama was a seamstress, then all the girls would probably be in that field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If my dad was a carpenter, guess what? I'd be nailing on stuff.
It's so
just
true.
happened to be one of the greatest bluesmen ever, and I'm his son, and I am proud and overwhelmed to be a son of his.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. But just the same, though, has it been an important focus of yours to also not just keep the spirit of your dad's music alive, but also establish your own sound and not just be known as the son of Muddy Waters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just, you know, I released an album before. I released a tribute album with Kim Wilson. I released an album called Son of the Seventh Son.
Wonderful record.
Which won me several awards, which it had, I think, maybe one or two of my dad's songs on there. As a matter of fact, this new one has a couple of my dad's songs on there. And probably any album I put out, as respect to my dad, I will always put at least one of my dad's songs on any album I record. That's just it.
Yeah.
That's my way of giving Dad back and being a part of his legacy.
Of all of your dad's songs that are in your repertoire that you either recorded or performed live?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. I know what you're finna ask, yeah.
You beat me to it. That's
I
the
get
one.
that question a lot, John.
Yeah.
Same thing, and I just want to make love to you.
They're the ones, yeah.
Yeah, man, especially same thing. I remember as a kid, Pop would be playing that riff. It's just that certain riff in there that I thought was so melodic and sort of sexy, man. And I used to ask Pop to teach me that. He never got around to it, but same thing, and I just want to make love to you.
Yeah. Did you see him perform live very often?
Oh, yeah, I've seen him as much as I wanted to. I mean, you know, I thought again, you know, blues wasn't, you know, it wasn't what I come up with. So, you know, I would just go out, if he was in town near us, I would go out and sit in, you know, my sons, you know, and have me stand up and all the other good stuff. But yeah, but Pop, so we would, I would go see him, yeah.
One thing your dad was renowned for, and that was choosing wonderful musicians for his band. What qualities do you look for in musicians to make them the right type of musician to work with you?
I think along the same lines. Great musicians is the key. Now, mind you, my dad was a force to be reckoned with by himself and his slide and his vocals. But when he took and surrounded himself with people like Willie Big Eye Smith, Otis Spann, Pantop Perkins, Little Walter, I mean, James Cotton, my godfather. When you start to surround your Calvin Fudge on bass, when you start to surround people like that, with already, it's a win-win situation, man. And I do the same thing, you know. I look for some of the best cats that, you know, love this stuff and they're good at it. And it is true too, John, that blues is not blues without a heart. And I look for great heart players, man, you know, because my ear is tuned the same way Pop's is, man. Great piano player and a great harp player, you have got to have those two elements.
Absolutely. Where are your best markets outside of the USA?
I'm sorry, say it again, guys.
Outside of America, where have you made the most inroads, do you think, with your career?
Where do I go most in the U.S.?
Yeah, outside of America, where are you doing very well indeed?
Well, to be honest with you, I do very well in Europe.
Oh, great.
I do very well in Europe, and especially the UK, man. And those people loved my dad so much, man. Until when I got there, I got there about 6 years ago, John. They were loving it, man. They was needing it. They were needing that Muddy Waters that the Rolling Stones and them, did back in the days, man. They were loving it, man, and they made me feel like a second home there, man. I mean, I was just so warm and so welcome, and I was selling out the house. I played the Albert Hall a couple of times. I've been on the Joe Holland show with him. Matter of fact, I'm in the UK in March the 14th. I fly out. I'm doing the Boysdale Blues Club, and that's a place where Joe Hollins and a bunch of great musicians do frequent. So I've done Ronnie Scott's in London. I mean, and they have really made me feel welcome, man. I've been there where you've been too, right, John? I've been to Brazil, Australia. I did the Brisbane Festival.
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah, I've been there once, man.
And you're about to be here.
And it almost killed me.
Oh really?
I flew there. I got there a day. I performed the next day, and I was on the plane flying back the next day.
Oh my goodness!
When I got home, I was cross-eyed.
That's
I was still kind of young. No one told me that. I should have set a tour up around there and been there for at least a week or something. But I flew back the next day.
My goodness.
I was just running around here like a chicken with my head cut off, man. But it was great. I got a chance to see Steve Irwin's Haddon Farm.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm a big fan of Steve Irwin's, man. Yeah, big fan of Steve Irwin.
That's a long trip for one gig.
It's a long trip for one gig, man. But I know better now, anyway. But it was great country. I enjoyed it. I loved it, Joe.
You got a few shows lined up this time around, plus you're doing the big festival at Byron Bay Blues Fest. Are you bringing a full band with you?
Well, actually, I'm meeting a band over there.
Oh wow!
Band over there.
Yeah.
That I'm meeting. That he's my PA man. He set the band up over there. There's a lot of great festivals that can't afford to bring, 6 cats equipment from America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bit much, man. I mean, so what I try to do is pick up great bands that's familiar with my music and my dad's music, and pray a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pray a lot, man. I pray a lot. And I say that out of no disrespect to anybody, but I have been to Chile and different places, man, and got that band. The band swore by a stack of Bibles that they can play muddy stuff, man. And believe it or not, John, they couldn't even play Mojo.
Oh, really?
What a simple song.
Yeah.
So, so I pray a lot, man. That's it,
I don't think you'll have that problem here. There's some wonderful blues players in this country, so...
I tell you, John, I really, man, I put my heart and my soul into what I do. I mean, I do it for several reasons. But namely that it's my dad's name on this stuff, and it's my name on it. So that's more important to me than anything, man. So these guys need to know how to play that stuff, man.
Yeah. What do you think it is about blues that sees it, it transcends generations? I mean, lots of musical styles come and go, but blues is always there. What do you think it is about it?
I just think, man, because it's emotions, it's life, it's something that people of all walks of life have either had to go through, or been through, or if not, they're gonna go through it. I mean, just to keep living. I mean, and it's just been put into songs, man, and I'm sure the most important thing is that people just want to relate to something. They want to know. They want the comfort of knowing that they ain't the only one been through this. They ain't the only one finna go through this. I got a great song, man. It's on the Some of the 7th Song album, I think. I'm not for sure. No, I think it's on the, I'm not for sure. But it's called Health.
Mm-hmm.
It is really, really simple, man. You can have the whole world. You can have diamonds. You can have everything you ever dreamed of. But if you're not healthy, John, if you're sick, it don't mean a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean one penny to you. If you can't enjoy life without being sick or on your back all the time, it doesn't mean squat.
Yeah, so true.
So the moral of the story is, man, just we need to try to take care of ourselves.
Can relate to that. Now you mentioned there is a new recording project on the horizon. Is that?
It's done. It's done, John. It's in the bag.
It's in the bag. Oh, wow.
Last night doing some tweaking on it, and I've got a bunch of great players like Rick Curry on it, Billy Flynn, Billy Branch from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Harp.
Yeah.
Phil Perkins on horns. I got Otis Taylor's violin player, Annie Harris on it.
Yes.
I mean, it's good, man. I think we've done a great job, man. Again, you know, I look at my performing on the stage the same way I do in the studio. I put my heart and soul in it, man. And I try to give people something that they want, not the same traditional, you know, boogity stuff. You know,
Yeah.
I try to be open-minded and try to appease to everybody. So it's a little R&B on it. It's a little soul on it. There's some traditional blues on it. It's some ballads on it. It's some fast stuff on it. So, you know, I think it's pretty cool.
That's tremendous. And will that be out in time for your Australian visit, or maybe later in the year?
I'm sorry?
Will that be released in time for your Australian tour, or will that be out later in the year?
It'll probably be out later in the year because, you know, I was going to put this album out when I put out the album, you know, for Pops, a tribute to Muddy Waters, me and Ken Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
But I put it on hold because certain records owner Dave Earl thought it was important that we get that recording, and they want us a BMA. And to USA, that's probably one of the highest you can get.
Yeah.
You know, a BMA, you know, outside of a Grammy. So it did win us that, man, and I'm very proud of it, and I'm sure Ken Wilson is, and I think it's a good tribute to my dad.
It's a wonderful tribute. And it sounds like a labor.
Not to blow my own horn either, John. I don't think you won't find a tribute quite that interesting for Muddy Waters than what we laid down. Not soon.
No, it was a wonderful album. It sounded like a real labor of love.
Yes. It's great stuff, man. I had fun doing it, and you know, I had some great players on that too. And by the way, I had Bear House Chuck on that. If you ever heard of him, keyboard player. He just passed this year. So, you know, and I'm glad I got a chance to record that with him.
Yeah. And after your Australian visit, what else has 2017 got in store for you?
You know, I take it one step at a time. John. You know, wherever you know, blessings I find down the road, you know, whatever doors open for me, you know, I step in, you know, because sometime in life when doors close, they don't open no more in your lifetime. So you have to be really conscious of that when something good happens for you, to embrace it, step in. Because if it closed, it may not never open again. And I just take it one day at a time. So I'm at the Blues Festival. I just thought about that. June the 11th, the Chicago Blues Festival. I'll have a stage there then, and we'll see.
Terrific. Hey, Mud, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute treat to speak with you, and we're really looking forward to seeing you out here in Australia.
You're welcome, and for all Australians, please know that I love you guys, and I'm looking forward to bringing you some good Chicago blues.
And spending more time than just one day this time.
Oh, please. I got sick when you just said that. John, thanks a million.
All the best, Mud. Have a safe trip out here. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, sir.
All the best. Bye-bye.